welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Stacey Earlywine.
And I'm Ty Landreth.
Yes, Ty is filling in for Beth today. She had an appointment that she couldn't miss. I know we don't like to miss doing our show.
Yeah.
we will come in and we will record at other times and stuff because we really like doing our show. So anytime that one of us has to miss, we're like, nah.
Yeah.
We're not very happy about it, but it's glad to have you here.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Filling in with us. We get him out of the corner. I don't know. It's almost like a closet, isn't it?
It's like a broom closet, yeah.
Got you in a broom closet today. But, yeah, we've got some interesting stories that we're going to cover today, kind of tragedies and a murder. It's shocking to me. You don't realize how many murders happen. Mm-hmm. And, for instance, it's like how many times the cemetery tours, which this year's cemetery tour that will be happening, it's Shadows of Elmwood, will happen. It's always in September, and this year we are doing the best of. So it's like our 15 years. Have you participated every time?
I've only been in it in 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. The last 3 or 4 ones I've been in.
So it's just been recently the last few you've done?
Yeah, but since it started, I've been going to every one of them.
Yeah, they're so interesting.
They are.
They're so, of course, if you're a lover of your county and if you're a lover of history, which I am, it's like you really can't beat it. Mm-hmm. But isn't it? Are you surprised how many murders?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at least every year there's 1 or 2 murder stories we tell.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not sure I don't know. And it's one of those things, it's just like, I think Jessica Muskoff is the one that runs it, and she put it out there, like that weird little square thing that you take a picture of, supposedly.
A QR code.
Oh, my gosh. I don't even know how those work. So I didn't even vote because I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I just said, hey, this is my favorite of the ones. But unfortunately, I don't get to see them all because I've been in them every year. Mm-hmm. And I don't get to, see. I don't get to see them. I mean, it's one of those things like when we practice, like we have certain time. There's so many, but I've always sit through a couple watching people practice. But I really don't. I don't even know most of the stories that's been done.
No.
Yeah, so I don't really know. But there's been. So what would you say so far would be your favorite?
Favorite story I've seen, because it honestly was kind of surprising. I believe it was Mr. Ridge who played the character. Mm-hmm. But Flora used to be a bunch of apple trees. We had a bunch of apple orchards. We
were known as the apple orchard of the United States. We were it. That's where Orchardville College came from, and Orchardville.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Okay, so you probably weren't producing our show. That's one of our very, very first episodes, by the way, with Beth and Stacey was apple orchards, because I was shocked. Yeah, you weren't producing. That was when Beth would run the little pad by herself.
Yeah.
Till we got Ty. So Ty got out of school and got a job here at Wabash. But we were the king of apples. Our apples went all over the world. Yeah. As a lot of times, like I can't remember what president came through, but when one of the presidents came through, Beth could tell me because she's got a better memory than I do. And that's one of the gifts we gave him. Like the mayor's wife of the town brought a basket full of apples. Yeah, we were the orchard kings of the United States.
And now, I mean,
yeah,
is there an apple tree in Florida?
Well, over in Clay City, Ray's Fruit. Ray's Fruits is the only fruit farm that I know that's still around. But I'm not even really sure if they're open or not anymore. I believe they are. There are a couple orchards left, but not like when you drove through Clay County. Yeah. So it's a very interesting story, and you learned that.
Yeah, I would have never known.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the Orchard City comes from. It's Orchard City College and all that stuff. We were very, it's hard to believe that would even be a thing in our community, because otherwise, if you're driving around Clay County, unless you specifically search out the orchards, there's no signs of them now.
No.
But so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what people, because like you could go. I don't know if the voting's over or not, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what stories are picked. I'm not even for sure how many stories we do a year. I wouldn't even know. There's quite a few. I'd say there's probably 1, 2, 3, probably 6 or 7 out at the cemetery, and then maybe 2 or 3. You think there's maybe 10 stories we do a year out there? There might be a couple at the depot. I know one of my second year, I was actually at the depot, and I played Amy Campbell, and she was a killer. Beth and I covered her on this episode too. Yeah, she was a murderer. She tried to murder several of her husbands and didn't get the job done, but then finally hacked one up pretty good. And I played her, but I don't know. One of my favorites to do was the gypsy skit.
Oh, yeah.
I love the gypsy. We did that last year, and since it was last year, I would imagine Jessica probably won't bring that back. But I liked it, and we've learned so much because, like, literally the first couple of years we did this, when we went out to the cemetery, we weren't prepared at all. We didn't take bug spray. We didn't take blankets. We stood. We didn't even have chairs. So that first year we were out there, we stood literally. And we're out there like from 4 o'clock to like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. Yeah. And so we would literally stood the entire time. Now we've learned. Now we take camping rugs.
Yeah.
And we take chairs, and we take food, and we take drinks and caffeine, and we take blankets in case it gets cold, and we take a ton of bug spray and candles. But I'd say probably my favorite so far that I've personally done was the gypsies. Yeah. That gypsy skit was fun because it was so decorated and it was so crazy, you know, because it was so bright, and there was like 5 of us in the skit. And 5 or 6 or 7, actually, in the skit. 9, maybe. Yeah, there was like 5 gypsies. 1, 2, 3, 5 gypsies, and then 3 normal people playing the part. Yeah. So we had 8 people on our skit. The Hackneys were in it, and then Kaylee Bailey was in it.
Yeah.
And so then there were 5 gypsies other than the people playing normal characters. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it was a really good skit. I was one of the first people you met last year. Mm-hmm. So I was one of the last wagons I could hop on, and I got to see everybody.
Oh, you did get to see everybody, yeah. So, yeah, and I and another one, so I don't know what they'll bring back. One of I found, and I want to do a show on him, is the guy named Polka Dot. Matt Lovett played him, and that's one where Jim built the outhouse.
Oh, right.
And what he was, I can't think of what his name is, but I do want to cover him on a show because I think it's kind of interesting. And they called him Polka Dot because he was always splattered he cleaned outhouses. Can you imagine?
Ugh.
He cleaned outhouses. Yeah, and plumbers think it's bad.
Yeah.
He was like the first original plumber, I guess you could say. Polka Dot.
Ugh.
Yeah. Interesting, right? Huh. I don't know. But anyway, I got talking about that because it's funny, because I think that we could even do some of the people that I'm covering today. Actually, one of them is from Florida. The other ones are from Sailor Springs. But I do think that if you're looking for a fundraiser in your town, that's the way to do it because it brings out a lot. It's so interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot of work, but it's so worth it.
Plenty of towns have started doing their own cemetery tours now. Mm-hmm.
Somebody said that there was one. Fairfield was doing one now.
Fairfield has one. I think Salem's doing one now.
Really? I talked to my uncle. I have uncles that live over in Clay City. My Uncle R.C. kind of stepped into the mayor's place for a while. I'm like, man, I'll help you put it together. But you should really think about doing this. Clay City and Sailor Springs have got rich heritage. You could, and I even like the way we cover things. There might be, because Amy Campbell, one of my favorite people that I played, she's actually not buried there, but she was from Clay County, so she died in an insane asylum and is buried up there up north somewhere. I can't remember that, but what the name of that place is, it escapes me right now. Mm-hmm. But but I like the fact that we do. You don't have to be buried there to do a story, anything from Clay County.
Like my character last year, he was from Clay City, and he was a professional baseball player.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. You did do him. See, you need to bring. Do you have your papers from that story?
They're all on my phone. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to send me that because I wouldn't mind doing him on the show.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I would like to do that one on the show.
He wasn't the best pitcher, but still, I mean, someone local around here.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Send me all that stuff because I am getting more tech savvy. Yeah. Have you noticed?
Yes, I've been getting more emails with pictures.
And they're good ones now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed? Oh, it's so funny. Beth takes my phone from me all the time, and she's like, your pictures are blurry, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just doing what you told me to do, and she's like, did you do step number? And she's like, did you do this? And I'm like, no. She's like, well, you got to do that, and then it'll all come into clear.
Yeah.
But today I picked one. I found this one. This is from a 1950s Look at this. I don't know if she's got a crown on her head or what. This is from Helene Curtis shampoo plus eggs. Plus eggs. Because there for a while it was like, yeah, if you really want your hair to be shiny, we would literally, well, I didn't, but back in the 50s, they would put raw eggs on their head. Ugh. Like mix it in with their shampoo. So like all of a sudden now they're like doing, they're doing this now. It's funny. Okay. Only the golden egg enriched shampoo bestows nature's shining secret to your hair. Can you believe that? Look at that hairdo. I do love her lipstick, though. That's pretty cool. She's got great eyebrows.
Her hair does look good, but... To put egg?
Yeah. So people were like shampooing their hair, then putting raw eggs on their hair, and then rinsing it out. So Helene Curtis... which I don't think you could even find it, but I actually kind of remember my granny having this shampoo in her closet. She probably kept a lot of stuff, but that bottle looks recognizable to me. And Helene Curtis came out and said, you know what? Instead of cracking an egg in your shower, why don't we just incorporate it in the shampoo and make $1 gazillion off of it? I don't think you could even buy Helene Curtis anymore. That used to be a big name back in the 60s. Is it still around?
They're still around.
Helene Curtis is still around?
Yeah.
Really? Huh, what'd you find?
Yeah, they're still around, and they're run by the same family.
Really? No way. Huh, I didn't know that. Helene Curtis, shampoo plus egg.
I don't think they're still using egg.
You don't think they're...
I think they've moved on from eggs.
Oh, man. They should have kept the eggs in there.
I am seeing something about... peaches, so maybe they've switched to peaches.
Huh. Well, can you imagine? Wonder what that shampoo even smelled like. I can't even imagine what that would have smelled like.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. They would have had to put fragrances in there. But yeah, hairdos like this just don't happen. You're rolling that sucker up, and you're under a dryer, and you're teasing and wheezing and flipping and twisting, and yeah, I just thought that model's beautiful though. She's a beautiful model. Yeah. Helene Curtis, shampoo plus egg. So don't be cracking eggs in your shower anymore. Plus, that'd be slippery.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe back then they probably didn't have a lot. I don't think showers were a big deal, were they? Didn't people mostly take baths?
Yeah.
I don't think showers were around much. My dad had a shower down in the basement, but otherwise we just had bathtubs in my house. Mm-hmm. Not even like there was no showers in the house at all. They were bathtubs. Interesting. Oh, well, we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to talk a little bit about some murders.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
And we are back.
All right. Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am going to do, Ty and I are both going to talk a little bit about some tragedies that happened. I came across this. Rena Lynch Thomas, she has passed away, but she did a spot in the Hometown Journal called Piecing Together the Past, and she wrote some great articles. That's where I'm not going to lie, that's where I get the majority of stuff. We call Don Thomas up and be like, pull Rena's stuff out, because he's got it all perfectly organized. So literally it's be like, hey, find me a tragedy, Don, and next thing you know, you found a tragedy. So this accident happened near Sailor Springs, okay? It was June 6, 1938. And I'm going to read this way now, Ty, because like last time, one of my shows when we were recording, I don't know why I was reading. I can't see anyway. And so, but this way I get the full light.
You get all the light on there.
Yes. Maybe I won't get lost. I can't guarantee anything. It was June 6, 1938, when this tragedy occurred near Sailor Springs. Carrie Pixley Kesterson, age 50, and the wife of Clove Kesterson lost her life in this unusual accident. The Kestersons' home was 2.5 miles northeast of Sailor Springs, where they had a large barn lot and garden adjoining the house. Mr. Kesterson had been cultivating and had come in from the field after his wife had summoned him to come kill a mole which had been working through her garden. When he arrived, he tied the team to the garden fence. The team suddenly became frightened, broke away from the fence, and circled the barn lot. Mrs. Kesterson was standing in front of the parked auto for protection from the runaway team when the team, dragging the cultivator, swung it around, striking the rear of the car and pulling it up over her. So this lady, 50 years old, Carrie Pixley Kesterson, is standing there. The team's loose. It's apparently because like that would have been the days when he would have been walking behind the plow thing, right?
Yeah.
And then and so they're running away with the mole. Probably scared him. Who knows what spooked him? And so that hits the car that she thought she was being protected from, and pulled the car over on top of her. Can you imagine? Her daughter, Thelma Kesterson Spencer, who was recently married and visiting her parents that day, watched helplessly from a kitchen window as the tragedy occurred. Let's take a picture of Carrie Pixley. This is the lady we're talking about. This is Carrie Pixley, 50 years. That must be a young picture. But this mother and wife was just struck by a runaway team of horses that hit the car and put the car over. The car struck the victim as she was facing it. She fell with her limbs being forced up between the axle and springs. Her body twisted as she faced downward on the ground. Both legs were broken, and she suffered what would prove to be fatal internal injuries. With difficulty, she was removed from the scene by Easley Ambulance Service and rushed to the Onley Sanitarium, reportedly in record time. It was never known what had spooked the three-horse team, but it was shown to have broken loose from a hitch in the barn lot, circled and pulled the auto over her, causing the fatal injuries. It was told by her daughter, Thelma, that her mother never lost consciousness during her ordeal, and for several hours later, she passed away the next morning around 9:30. So this poor woman, back in 1938, it didn't kill her instantly. She survived till the next day with internal injuries and several broken. That's just hard to even imagine.
Yeah.
I can't. And the kids, her kids watching her.
Her poor daughter had to see the whole ordeal take place.
Can you imagine?
Oh.
What a terrible thing. Carrie Pixley Kesterson was the daughter of William and Mary Jane Pixley and was born in September 1888. She had brothers Harry C., Joseph, and Harvey, and sisters Stella, Bertha, and Lida. At her death, she was survived by her husband Clove and children Leroy Kesterson and Thelma Kesterson Spencer. So we've got a picture. Let's see which picture. This is her husband Clove and her son and daughter Leroy and Thelma Kesterson. And the little boy in the front is the gentleman right there. That is Bob Kesterson. Bob Kesterson was a resident of Flora. The Kesterson family, this is his family we're talking about. He has since passed away, but he was married to Ann Kesterson, and they had children. They still have children in Flora. But yeah, so that's the family we're talking about. That's Bob as a boy. The Pixley family in Clay County is one of the long standing, as William's father, Joe Pixley, and his wife, Elizabeth, are shown in the 1860 Clay County census. They were farmers, as were their son, William, and his son-in-law, Clove Kesterson. So everybody, they were farmers. So then we have another picture of her children, Leroy and Thelma Kesterson. This is Carrie Pixley's children. And Leroy, well, like I said, was the father of Bob Kesterson. It was a dramatic occurrence for her family, and many friends were shocked at the suddenness of her passing. Yeah, a special thanks to Thelma for the information, and Mrs. Robert Ann Kesterson, whose husband is the grandson of Carrie. Yeah, isn't that just such a tragedy? I got one more picture of, this is Lida Pixley Reinert. She is the sister of Carrie and the wife of Frank Reinert. So that's a living sister. That's one of her sisters that was still living when this story was being done. She's a sister to Carrie Pixley. But we've heard the Pixley family name so many times. But what a tragedy. We got actually a picture of the William Pixley home. It's been around for a while. This is the home where everything happened. The William Pixley home place where Carrie was born. It was located just north and east of Sailor Springs, and it burned sometime down in the late 70s. That's a pretty home. But yeah, so that house had caught fire and burned down in the 70s. But yeah, what a tragedy. I can't even fathom that. Can you?
No.
I mean, it's such a weird thing. Huh.
And it was a three-teamed horse? Or a three-horse team?
Three-horse team. Man. Yeah. And it would have had to have just hit. I mean, because like if the three horses are running, and then the horses then are the cultivator. Yeah. They're pulling the cultivator, right? And then the farmer would stand behind the cultivator, right? Mm-hmm. So the horses, if she's standing by the car to be protective, not get run over by the team, then that cultivator had to have swung around with enough power to flip a car. Because you're talking 1938, what kind of cars did we have back then? How heavy were the cars? I'm thinking Bonnie and Clyde cars, the big, the car would have been quite large if it would have been from that time period, I would assume. Yeah. 1938. Yeah, you're talking the Prohibition time. And you think about the cars that Bonnie and Clyde and all those guys drove. They were big, heavy cars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, knocked her right over on her stomach. That's a sad occurrence, too. Yeah. You don't think something like that's going to happen, do you?
No. And for her to be, because, it's almost 24 hours, and she's still alive. Yeah.
And did you notice it's the only sanitarium? Yeah. So because back in the day, they weren't really hospitals, sanitariums. When we think of sanitariums, we think of like where they send crazy people. But back in the day, the sanitarium was crazy people and hospitals all combined together. Everything was all. They didn't separate a sanitarium out. So she was taken to Olney by an ambulance service that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that either, that ambulance service. But yeah, so she would, and at the time, and how did they keep people comfortable back in the 30s? So if she's like crushed, her insides are crushed, and she's got her legs broken.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what.
Well, there's no pain relief either. So.
No, they didn't do IV morphine or anything back in the day, right? So can you imagine what that would have? Yeah. I can't even. And then how? Oh, and then you're talking. So if the car's on top of her, how long was she pinned underneath that car before somebody got there to get that car off of her? And how did they get that? Did they have tow trucks where they pulled?
They probably had to turn the car on and put it in reverse.
I don't know how they would have got it off. It didn't go into detail about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Ann Kesterson. Ann Kesterson is still alive and living in Phoenix. Because she's the one that submitted the story. I know Ann. I'll have to send her a message on Facebook and find out exactly how they go into more detail on how they got the car off. Because like I said, we take advantage of the technology and everything we have today, and you don't think about the tragedy of what would have been back in the day.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it. Huh. Yep, the Pixley family, they've been around a while, but that was a tragedy back then. But we're going to take a commercial break, and we will come right back with another very interesting story of the murder of Ada Levitt.
All right, we'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
All right, and we're back.
We are back again with a very interesting story. We were just talking about Carrie Pixley, who was killed in 1938, and Ty looked it up, and the type of car would have been like those big, heavy Bonnie and Clyde cars, and after doing a little bit more research, it seems like when it hit her, the car didn't flip over her. The team of horses just rolled the car on top of her.
Yeah.
So she basically would have got ran over by the car.
Yeah.
Which would have been not just like whammo. I don't know.
No. Well, and especially if her leg was broken, I'm sure her leg got
both legs were broken.
Crushed under the wheels.
Yeah, because those cars had to have been massively heavy.
Yeah.
Now, this next story actually occurred, I believe, in Champaign. But this lady was from Clay County. So we'll see. Or it happened in Edwards. I can't remember. We're going to find out here in a minute. That's the beauty of my brain. There's too much stuff in there. And now I get everything jumbled up. But this is actually the murder of Ava Levitt. And when the guy that left the note, this is like a murder-suicide. So this actually, I might have to send this to Jessica.
Yeah.
This one would be a good one to do because it's a murder-suicide. And like the note that he left, he actually wrote, she asked for it.
Ooh.
Very interesting. Yep. Okay. Gosh, I love these. Did I tell you where I found all these papers? I got a lot of, my friend Paula Cooper, her mother Pat Cooper passed away recently, and we've been cleaning out her house, and I found a ginormous tote, and it was nothing but Hometown Journal papers.
Really?
So I've just got paper after paper. I went through them, got rid of some, but kept like a lot of Bill Oliver stories and the back thens, the Sailor Springs, and I just got a ton of stuff. But it's almost overwhelming because when you go, so I've actually made, like up here, I put like up here back then, so I'll know that there's.
Oh, yeah.
I've got tons and tons of papers now. And now my hands are, I feel like I've got black stuff all over my face, but I don't. Okay, murder of Ava Levitt. She said, it isn't a pleasant story, but one which involved a former Clay County lady and a man who grew up just across the county line to the north of Effingham County around Edgewood. And this is another one of Rena Lentz Thomas's piecing together the past stories, which we love. I love the way Rena did it because she wrote everything just pretty basic.
Yeah.
You can understand it. I do not like to read something where you have to read it 15 times to understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I like it whenever, like, because she's very basic. She explains everything.
Yeah.
Some of the other stories in the other episode, they were really good about just painting the picture.
Yeah.
Like, you could close your eyes and you were there. You could see the tornado coming through. They did a really great job.
Yeah, they do a really good job. It was a Sunday afternoon in October 1960 on Church Street in Champaign, Illinois. Ha! I did remember. It was Champaign. And Clyde E. Levitt had just arrived at his mother's, Ada Levitt, the murder victim, her house to help with a chore he had promised to do for her. Ada was born in 1890 in Clay County, the daughter of John and Emma Meade Weiss, and had grown up in the Sailor Springs area. She married Clyde Levitt, who had preceded her in death by a few years. The couple had 3 children, Harvey, Clyde E., and Clandy Juanita Myers. Clandy, that's a neat name.
Yeah.
That must be a daughter because she's married to a Myers. Clandy Juanita. Juanita. W-A-N-E-T-I-E, Myers. I like that name, Clandy.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting name.
It is. I like it. They later moved to Champaign, where she operated a boarding house after the death of her husband. So this lady, living in Sailor Springs, loses her husband, and now she moves to Champaign and is running a boarding house. Upon approaching the house of his mother, Clyde E. Levitt noticed 2 newspapers still folded neatly lying on the porch swing. Thinking this unusual, and knowing that his mother was not expected to be gone, he became concerned. He decided to go to the home of his sister, who also lived in Champaign, and together they returned to the house. Okay, so when she moved, she took her children with her.
Mm-hmm.
So Clyde's thinking something suspicious here.
Yeah.
Right? Her son's like, yeah, that ain't normal. But instead of just walking into the house, he probably was like, I think that's kind of an interesting thing that he was thinking something bad must be happening. He didn't want to go in there by himself.
Or he was like, I need a witness so people don't think I did this.
Well, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. He could have just been like, something's fishy.
Yeah.
And all by newspapers. 2 newspapers that Mom didn't pick up, still neatly folded on the porch. Weird, right?
Very weird.
Huh. Ha 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 ha. So he went to his sister's, and they returned to the house. What they discovered shocked the two. In the bedroom, to the right of the living room, they found the body of their mother, a widow who had been brutally slain. The police were immediately summoned, and they made another grisly discovery. At the rear of the house, in the utility room, they found the body of Pearlie Wright. He had hanged himself. So, I think we know who did what. Let's show the picture of Ava. This is Ava Levitt. And this lady was born in Clay County, lived in Sailor Springs with her husband, Clyde Levitt. She had 3 children. He passed away. She moves her children to Champaign, and she runs a boarding home, which I find very, very interesting. Huh. She almost looks like the mother that played the mother of Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. Doesn't she look like George Bailey's mom?
Yeah.
The lady that ran the boarding home? She kind of does a little bit. Wow. So, now we found 2 bodies. The police also found the murder weapon lying nearby on the newspaper with a hatchet. Ugh. Yeah, so she definitely got Lizzie Borden, didn't she? Oh, man.
At least he was nice enough to put it on a newspaper, though.
You know, he was. He left it right there with his fingerprints probably all over it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I just murdered you, but
Here.
I don't want to stain the floor. We'll put it on a newspaper.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez. They theorized that Wright had struck Mrs. Levitt in the head, perhaps killing her with the first blow to her left temple. We can only pray to God that it happened quickly.
Yeah.
Wow. However, several other blows were struck about her head. The police determined there were no signs of struggle, thus she may have been asleep at the time. Okay.
Hopefully.
So hopefully that would be. I don't know. People are crazy.
Yeah.
It is nuts how crazy people are. The exact story as to why may never be known. But what was known was that Levitt ran a boarding house, and she and Mr. Wright, who had lived there for 12 years, were friends. So, the guy that actually murdered her lived in the boarding house for 12 years, and they were friends. What's that about?
Yeah.
A strange event was the finding of Levitt's body in the bed normally used by Wright. Let me flip my paper over. Just off of the okay, wait a minute. A strange event was the finding of the Levitt body in the bed normally used by Wright just off the living room.
So she was found asleep in his bed.
In his bed. So maybe they were an item.
Yeah. A little more than friends.
Little more than friends, right?
Well, 12 years.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because how long does anybody live? People don't live in boarding homes for 12 years, right? I don't know. I don't really know anything about boarding homes.
I don't either.
I don't either, but there was a boarding home there was a boarding home I found in one of these articles that I want to do a story on too, because I did find one. I think there was a boarding house over in Clay City. I can't remember. Oh my goodness. Findings indicated that Wright had some forethought about what he was going to do, as he had made funeral arrangements for himself with an Edgewood funeral director a week or so prior to the murder-suicide.
Huh.
So he totally knew he was going to do this.
Yeah.
A week before.
Well, maybe at least knew he was going to hang himself.
Maybe he just thought at the last minute that he was going to take her out too.
Yeah. Maybe she tried to stop him.
Yeah, but if she would have been asleep, she wouldn't have been able to stop him.
Yeah.
Right? My inner Charlie's Angels is starting to come out here. Yeah, that's... I don't know. Weird. Wright, who was also 71, so apparently they were both 71 years old, apparently became upset when Mrs. Levitt had told him recently, of her plans to marry someone else.
He got jealous.
He got jealous. Now it starts to unfold. Okay. This, according to investigations after the double tragedy. Recurring personal differences between the two led to his decision to kill the woman and himself, the police theorized. Okay. So, he may have been in love with her, but apparently she wasn't in love with him if she was seeing another fella and was fixing to get married. So he was probably just infatuated with her.
Yeah.
Is what I'd say is going on, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
A note reportedly written by Mr. Wright read as follows. This was not my desire. It was the only way out to settle differences of opinions. It was for the best. It was for the best. After all, she asked for it. You know, that's how you always settle a difference of opinion with a hatchet, right? Most often we think of those involved in unrequited love as being of the younger set, but for this man it was more than he could deal with, a situation which ended the lives of two. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with they weren't an item. I'm going to go with he was a little on the cuckoo side. He was infatuated with him. She was seeing... Plus, they're at 71. They're both 71 years old.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? I mean, that's silly. And I bet she was like, oh, by the way, hey, guess what I'm doing? I found me a fella. I'm going to get married again. Yay. I'm so glad we're friends. This is great, blah, blah, blah. And then, but he thought about it. Could you imagine having somebody in your personal area that a week before was planning on killing you the week before?
Yeah. So I wonder when he got the news of her marrying someone else.
Yeah. How long it took him to, I bet he snapped pretty quick.
Because he got the news like, oh, I'm so depressed. Well, set up funeral arrangements. Or did he already have those arrangements?
They said in the article that he said a week prior to killing her. So 1 week prior to killing her, he set up his own funeral arrangements. So he knew he was going to do it. Yeah, he totally knew that he was going to. Yeah, so the week before he set up funeral arrangements, took care of himself.
Yeah.
So literally for a week he's just been like, I wonder, and then it makes you wonder if it was like the funeral director called and said, oh yeah, you're good. We got everything taken care of. And then he was like, now's my time. I don't know. I just think you would have to literally be completely out of your mind to kill somebody. And that's like those murders like that are up close and personal. They are crimes of passion. You always know when it's a crime of passion because it's like pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are going to take a commercial break, and then I've got a cute little article here. Back then in Sailor Springs, it's a little bit about the Glendale Hotel I want to share with you guys. Right. So we're going to switch to something fun.
All right, we'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Royal King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Royal King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
All right, we are back.
All right, we are going to switch gears a little bit. We just discussed a tragic accident with Carrie Pixley, and then we just discussed the murder-suicide of Ava Levitt. Goodness sakes a lot. So now we are going to talk a little bit about my favorite topic in Clay County, Sailor Springs, my absolute favorite place. Do you have a favorite place in Clay County?
I don't know. I haven't really traveled around the area much.
Mm-hmm. As far as stories go that we do, I love Sailor Springs is my favorite.
It seems like we get a lot from Sailor Springs.
Yeah,
Some of the more interesting stories.
And I still haven't won the lottery. I need to win the mega so I can buy Sailor Springs.
Yeah.
You know, that's my game plan. When I win the lottery, I'm buying Sailor Springs, bringing it back, opening up the springs, building some cabins, and I'm putting in a campsite. I'm putting campers. Yeah. Perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Turn it back into what it used to be. Gosh, that would be glorious. If I had all the money in the world, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
Wonder how much it would cost to buy a town.
Probably a lot more than you think.
Probably a lot more than I think. But if I
Yeah.
win the mega, who cares? After I give money away,
Yeah.
I'll just keep enough to buy Sailor Springs. It'll be a good day. It'll be a good day because that's what I'm going to do. But I have to win the mega. If I just win the basic lottery, you guys, and it's only $4 or $5 million, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Oh, no.
So I mean,
you could probably get one plot.
Probably. So, yeah, it's just going to have to be. I just need to win the mega.
Yeah.
I better buy a ticket. Okay, so this is the Back Then in Sailor Springs article by Linda Davidson. And Linda Davidson still lives in Sailor Springs. She's a beautiful little lady. We just love Linda. Beth and I went over and talked to her one day, and we just had the best time, which we probably need to make a trip back over to Linda Davidson's house because it was wonderful. So I love the newspaper, the Hometown Journal, because they always thought they put a lot of, Bill Oliver loved history too. And Bill Oliver was the editor of the Hometown Journal. So, of course, he put a lot of history and stuff in with Rena Thomas's articles and with Linda Davidson. So I'm just going to read this little article. Back then, during the resort summer months, the hotels were flourishing with many good things. The west entrance of the Glendale Hotel was where you entered to check in for your stay at the resort. My dad, this is Linda Davidson's words, Russell Harris, told me this several years ago. There were quite a few steps to step up to the front door entrance, which was a double door. There were wicker chairs on the veranda of the hotel. Many guests sat in those chairs all day to relax. It must have been the most wonderful place to sit and enjoy the sunset. Golden fire orange with hues of pink. The huge ball of glistening beauty coming to rest on the western horizon. Well, that's a picture painted for you, isn't it? The whole sky mellowing and melting together in the brightness and beautiful, exquisite hues of brilliant colors, mixing with the billowy cloud patterns to form a new sunset design every day. Bravo, Linda Davidson.
Yeah.
Man, that was beautifully written. When it rained, it was quite a sight to sit on the hotel veranda and watch the thunderstorms forming in the west, moving closer to Sailor Springs. It was quite a picture view and was awesome, rolling gray-black clouds with thunder and lightning. The business of the resort days was just inside the veranda double doors. As you stepped inside over the threshold, you stepped on the dark, stained hardwood floors with wool rugs covering parts of them. A few feet away, and you step up to the huge counter to apply for your hotel room during your stay. Behind the clerk there stood a counter with portholes for mailboxes for the guest. Keys on tabs made of brass hanging uniformly in rows next to the mailboxes behind the clerk. I can't remember, but who is it that still has a key? I think Linda Davidson still has one of the original keys for the hotel.
Really?
For one of the rooms, yeah. Huge stuffed black leather chairs were there for the guest conveniences. Huge potted palms lined the lobby looking very distinguished with the heavy drapes and tassels. Dark hues of color and design with Victorian classical style and decor. To the side of the lobby was the huge, wide staircase. Its color of dark stained hues. The stairs of dark stained wood made a majestic focal area in the mammoth room. The staircase was where your stay at the resort began. The moment the bellboy picked up your key to your room and arranged for your baggage, you were on the way upstairs for your journey into wellness, lifted spirits, and a relaxing, refreshing, great holiday at the Sailor Springs Resort. The stairway was used so much daily for the guest. It was also used by parlor maids, water pitcher boys, attendants, and physicians. Housekeeping maids and room service kept the stairway in demand too. The bellboy, key in hand, sticks the key in the lock. He gives the doorknob a twist and opens the door to your hotel room. You peek inside, your eyes glancing all around the room. A marvelous feather bed made of goose feathers. A bedspread of white cotton and linen made big enough to cover the fluffy pillows. One could surely get a good night's sleep here. You freshen up at the washstand in the room after your long, dusty journey. Later, after resting a while on the feather bed, you decide to go exploring the resort grounds. You get as far as the veranda and sit in a wicker chair, spellbound. You can't take your eyes off the exquisite western sunset. Now, isn't that... Did you not just literally get a picture of of walking through the Glendale Hotel?
I kind of zoned out a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm here.
Right?
I'm there.
Can you imagine? And that was right over in Sailor Springs, one of the hotels we had. The Glendale was the one that was beautiful that set up on that hill. Linda's got a picture of the hotel too. I think there's probably several pictures, but yeah, an old black and white. It was absolutely spectacular, and people traveled from all over the country to come to Sailor Springs for that spring water. And some of the springs are still there. Some of the people have covered them up, and some of the people still have. There's one lady that's got a spring in her, and she's got it beautifully decorated. And kudos to you. I can't remember what your name is, Beth. I'll remind you on the next episode. But God bless her. Some of them still have the springs running, which I don't know why anybody would plug them. I don't know why anybody would ever do that, but there has, because my great Baldy and Josephine Franklin lived in Sailor Springs, and my great grandfather had a spring in his backyard. We used to travel up there every Sunday and get spring water out of my great grandfather's yard, and it sold at auction. And the person who bought it, unfortunately, covered that spring in. But it wouldn't take but a backhoe to open that baby back up.
Oh no!
So, yeah, how interesting is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully written.
Beautifully written. I love it. It's awesome. What a beautiful testimony to Sailor Springs.
Yeah.
Because Linda Davidson's like me. She loves Sailor Springs as much
I'm
as
sold.
I do.
I'll start buying lottery tickets. I'll help the By the Way Sailor Springs Fund.
That's right. That's exactly what we need to do. Just buy your lottery tickets. That way we can buy, and I'll put you in on it.
All right.
My sister Diane wants to, when this adventure happens, when we ever win the lottery, she wants to put, and we want to go old school. She wants to put like an old time gas station in.
Really?
Yeah, from the 30s, 40s, the old time gas stations where you come in. That's Diane's dream, but mine's just the campground at Sailor Springs.
Yeah.
Oh well, here is okay, and this is gonna go. This is why I picked this quote from today. This is Oprah Winfrey, because my dream is to buy Sailor Springs after winning the lottery. You've got to follow your passion. You've got to figure out what it is you love, who you really are, and have the courage to do that. I believe that the only courage anybody ever needs is the courage to follow your own dreams. So I'm going to follow my dreams to the liquor store and buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good quote from Oprah Winfrey. You've got to follow your passion, which is, we took on the Town Theater, which I love the Town Theater. It's doing its thing still. We do not have any grant money. No grant money has ever come in, so we're still fingers crossed, prayers. Everybody out there listening to By the Way with Beth and Stacey, please pray that a grant comes in soon so we can get that roof, our floor, and our ceiling done. The next thing we have coming up we're working on is the Nostalgia Show. It is going to be a fun show. It's called It Happened on Route 66. It takes place in a 1955 diner setting, and the music we've picked out for it is wonderful 1950s. It's great. The costumes are going to be good. The cast is awesome. It's a really fun play, and that is going to be April 12th and 13th, Friday night at Nostalgia Theater, the old downtown theater in Flora, at 7 p.m. We're excited about that because every time you come, the more, right now we're keeping our bills paid, which is the insurance, and we're keeping the utilities on, but we desperately need a roof that's probably now going to cost about $70,000. So if you could all say a prayer that Nostalgia Theater gets that grant, we can get that roof fixed so I can fix the basement. Because the basement plans are to put in a green room down there, and we have zero storage. We have no storage for anything, so we're constantly, when we build a set or whatever, rearranging everything so we can have places for actors. I have nowhere for my actors to go. But yeah, so that's my little plug for Nostalgia Theater, following our dream for that, and that's it again. We're done again for today.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens. We start talking, and the next thing you know.
I know.
I don't know how it goes on, but yeah.
Time flies.
It does fly. So there's some springs coming up. We got some, the High School Musical. They are doing Mean Girls this year. It is in March, so keep a look out for that. There's some really talented group of seniors that are going to be graduating, so this is their last hoorah. And that's in March, so look on Facebook, look on WNRI. I'm sure it's all listed. You could call the high school, but we definitely want to support our kids in the arts. It seems like everybody comes out in groves for basketball games and football games, but those kids that are in the arts, your singers and your actors, they can do that for the rest of their life. So we want you to come out and support the kids for the musical in March. Not sure the date. I don't want to steer you wrong, but it will actually be a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday, so you have plenty of time to get that. So that's my plug for today. You got any last words, Ty?
Thanks for watching.
All right. God bless you and have a great day.
See ya.